Well, today's episode, we want to dedicate this to Terry Funk. You all may have heard by the time this video is already out, the news has already been spread. Terry Funk passed away. Uh, Let me tell you guys one of my fondest memories of watching Terry Funk. The first time I ever heard of him was when he teamed up with Mick Foley during the Attitude Era. He and Mick's rivalry was against, of course, the New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, just the Road Dogg. Apparently, this was for the WWE, no WWF World Tag Team titles at the time. This is before WWE were known as WWF, before they were known as WWE. So that was around that era, during the Attitude Era. And my fondest memories is when those two teams faced off each other, and they were in a dumpster match that was so memorable. I think that's one of the things that really got me into it, because the Attitude Era was different. But I do remember seeing clips of Terry Funk. I mean, there were times he and Mick Foley, from my understanding, they were not only opponents but good friends. And of course, not knowing a lot about Terry Funk, I learned that he comes from a well-respected wrestling family. There also, Terry was well known, respected in Japan. A lot of things I did not know about him, so I was greatly took a crash course on that. So Terry Funk's reputation really, really, really spread out there. So um, now that the word spread that he passed away, it's very a sad loss to the world of pro wrestling, especially to those who knew him and loved him. So my condolences go out to Terry Funk's family and to his closest friends. Um, Thank you, Terry Funk, for all those great memories he built for us over the years as a pro wrestler. You will be missed, but never forgotten. So, rest in peace.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome, everybody, to the Lead Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. You'll be getting a lot of reviews in this particular channel talking about various promotions. So if you like this channel, please subscribe to us. We'll be doing a lot of reviews dailies, and we'll be having other type of topics in this channel about pro wrestling, and you'll be getting those too. Now, as I mentioned, I did not get the chance to explain what the lowdown for this episode is going to be, so I'm going to do that in this part. As you know, it's Wednesday, and you know what that means. So not only we have AEW Dynamite slash Fyter Fest, which is this is their go home show before we head to the UK for All In, but across the Pacific we have, of course, GLEAT, with Version and Life is Challenging, where they collaborate with wrestlers from All Japan Pro Wrestling, which is going to be a lot of fun. But first things first, we're going to be reviewing another Japanese promotion. This one is the P.P.P Tokyo, which I haven't done for quite some time. This one, their show is called Summer Night Beer Party. Yes, so if you're a beer drinker, this must be the show for you. But we'll be getting through the whole show from start to finish, and of course, we'll cap it up with some news updates to tell what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling. So, let's get started right now. Okay, our first review is from the Japanese promotion known as P.P.P Tokyo. This is a Japanese promotion based out of Tokyo. They've been normally doing shows all over the city of Tokyo from various locations like of course, in Shinkiba, Shinjuku. They have done shows in Gorkin Hall. They might have done shows outside, like somewhere in Osaka. But this is a very unique promotion, its own flavor, if you might add. If you're unfamiliarized with this promotion, you should check it out. Many of their matches and some of their shows are for free to watch. This promotion also features, if you guys know this, I mentioned this before to many people. This is the home promotion of Chanyota. Those who don't know who she is, Chanyota is a female wrestler who's been wrestling for almost possibly a year or two. But there was a lot of controversy about her that many fans took not bad towards her, but bad decision making. Chanyota, of course, if you guys remember, she was that one girl who teams up with Mai Sakurai during New Blood, and there was a lot of controversy coming through this when it was told that she was banned from ever attending any Stardom events due to her other job, which of course making adult films. But this is the promotion where she's from, in case anybody asks. So, to me, I often say, screw what that part of her job does and focus on the wrestling. And I think that's what we do. And of course, let me get to the whole show. That way, everybody can get a clear idea. It opened up with her along with her boss. What's his name again? Oh yeah, Mitomi, and of course Hashizu. They both open up the show to greet the fans, to give them the lowdown of the matches, and hope everybody's having a good time. But the one thing that was really surprising is Kintaro Hasishu. He was not even booked in this show. I'm like wondering, was he injured? He seems fine to me by just watching him. You know, that's the thing. So I had no clue why he was there. I mean, he should have been wrestling, but no, he wasn't. I don't know what's the reasons, but this particular show took place, of course, on the 13th of August. It was a Friday, in case anybody asked. But yes, this one took place in Shinkiba. So let's get started with the first match. The first match, we have a intergender tag team match. We have team number one, Ichika Miyabi, teaming up with Takayuki Ueki. They take on, of course, the boss, Kabuto Mitomi, and of course, Surumi Natsu. So this was a brutal match. I think this was a very interesting match because there were some moments where Miyabi took a lot of blows by getting whacked in the chair and some objects, but there was a moment where she was dragged outside. Like, you're probably thinking why she was dragged outside. Well, I don't know. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. But it was, of course, Surumi Natsu who picked up the win on Miyabi when she put her face right through the chair, right on top of the chairs, and just like that, she picked up the win. Now, some interesting segments were being posted. There's this guy who impersonated, of course, earlier as what's his name, as Tanahashi, and then of course Kento Miyahara from All Japan. Then he had a little watermelon contest with Kintaro Hashizu. I have no idea what was going on, so that I was total loss of that. But I don't know. I feel like he had a great time instead of because he probably must have been bummed out he couldn't wrestle or whatever the story was behind it. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Now our next match, I think this one you guys might like. There's a beer party style drunken match. Now, what the hell is a beer party style drunken match? Well, here's the best part. If you guys are heavy drinkers, you probably say, no, you can't be serious. Well, throughout the entirety of the match, you got to keep on drinking. See if you can control your composure while you're still wrestling. Yeah, so that's what it was. So the participants of this match is Koji Doi and Hartley Jackson. I thought this was a very interesting match. I mean, they were not even wrestling in the ring. They were wrestling outside the ring as well. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. But there was a moment, of course, where right near the end, where, of course, Doi and Jackson were being all pallies right there drinking, haha, and then Koji Doi took advantage and gave him a big ass lariat, and he got knocked out. And 1, 2, 3, It's done, just like that. I'm like, how did Hartley Jackson mix that? But who doesn't love to drink? Even though I don't drink, but you guys probably get the idea. Now, our next match, we have the Yoshis taking the stage. We have Chanyota taking on Maika Ozaki from Rebel X Enemy. This is not the first time these two ladies have come across each other. Over time, we have seen Rebel X Enemy made their appearances in the promotion, especially with Chanyota, who had her issues towards Ozaki's pal, Ram Kaicho. And of course, Ram Kaicho was there, you know. So this was a battle of strengths. Now, Chanyota is a bit of a powerhouse. So as I said before, screw about her other job that she was involved. We focus on the wrestling thing. She does have a bit of strength and power, you know, and I think that's what drew her attention towards Mai Sakurai, who was impressed by her. You know, Mai Sakurai thought from the very beginning that, you know, she was just getting attention. No, she wanted to show that, you know, she's a bit of a powerhouse, and I think that's what made her like her so much. But however, Michael Zaki also has a bit of a powerhouse too. So this is the battle of powerhouses. I have seen Michael Zaki how she likes to put people in torture racks, and just like that, they win. But in the end, Ram Kaicho kind of accidentally ectoplasma Ozaki, but it did give Chanyota the opportunity to do a schoolboy on her, and 1, 2, 3, it's over. But however, during the post match, it appears Chanyota was willing to continue her little feud with Ram Kaicho. So Ram Kaicho, who always has a bit of fun with all her opponents, she issued a challenge with Chanyota, but she'll be teaming with Sato Minatsu, who played her second in this match. While Ram Kaicho played second to Ozaki, it would make sense. Now, they haven't announced when will this happen, but I'm sure it will be happening soon. So we'll see what happens until then. Now, our main event, we have Joji Otani taking on Kisuke Ishii. Pretty good match. I have to say, I look at this match where you see a bit of the strength and speed colliding. But Ishii has a bit of the strength. But as for Shoji, he would use a bit of the speed in his advantage as well. So the obvious thing, how would this play out? I have to say, both of them put out some interesting blows, but they were kicking out as possible. I was like, wow. But in the end, it was, of course, Ishii who walked out. But it was a very impressive match. So I think I give this show pretty good. Even though there was 4 matches, I like it. So if you guys haven't seen the show, look it up on YouTube. You probably would enjoy it. I think that's pretty much it for this promotion. So let's move on with GLEAT version and Life is a Challenge. Okay, GLEAT version and Life is a Challenge. Now, this is a collaboration between the promotion GLEAT and All Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, some of you may question why these two promotions are working together. Well, it's no secret that GLEAT had working relationship with other promotions. We had wrestlers coming in from New Japan in the past, even All Japan. I'm not sure about places like Noah or Dragon Gate or so on, but it's been well known. And of course, wrestlers from GLEAT even made their appearances in other promotions. El Lindaman, of course, is the current All Japan Pro Wrestling World Junior Heavyweight Champion. Voodoo Murders, who represent All Japan, are the current tag team champions in GLEAT. So that sort of thing goes around. But yeah, that's how it is. So this show just recently took place. So let's just get started. Took place recently in Korakuen Hall. Now, our first match, we have Check Shimatani of Bulk Orchestra represent GLEAT, taking on Ryo Inoue representing All Japan. It was a pretty good match. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't too sure, but there was a bit of the strengths on this one. But in the end, it was Check Shimatani with a single leg crab hold that put away Inoue for him to pick up a good win. Now, our next match, we have a mixture of both promotion wrestlers together. We have Rookie Honda teaming with Takanori Ito, who represents the Yans family. They take on Harukuro Omori and Yusuke Kodama. So basically, Kodama is also a member of the Yans family. I know that Omori, he in fact is from All Japan. So I thought it was a very interesting matchup. Now, you'd probably say, will Kodama and Ito clash? I'm sure they probably will for a little bit in order not to exchange. But in the end, it was the finally I found out what's the move that Honda uses on his opponent. The final vent, kind of like a running choke slam down or a bit of the standing ovation combination. He did that on Kodama to pick up the win. I thought it was very impressive, but we'll see how that turns out. In our next match, we have a very bit of an 8-man tag match. We have Kikutaru, Masawa Inoue, Black Mensuri, and Kazuma Sakamoto. They take on Issei Onitsuka, Jun Tonsho, the Great Nita, and the old man himself, Gabaichi-chan. Now, if you guys don't know who he's this wrestler who's like very old, walks on a cane. But before the match ever started, the Great Nita missed Masawa Inoue right in the face. But he didn't just miss him once. He missed him twice. I'm like, oh, poor Inoue. I just can't believe it. But Gabaichi-chan, oh my God, it's hilarious. There was a moment where, of course, he got in the face of Black Mensuri, and they fell down the ring ropes and got themselves caught in the groin. I thought it was pretty much funny, but in the end, it was, of course, Jun Tonsho with the Shining Wizard onto Kikutaru. He actually pulled the Keiji Muto like that, and bam, right there. Right, he got him right there. I thought it was awesome. I have to say, Tonsho should learn more from Keiji Muto, but, well, of course, Keiji Muto is retired. Now, our next match, we have an interesting 6-man tag match. We have Yuya Suzumu, Shuji Ishikawa, and Ryuichi Kawakami. They take on Yuma Aoyagi, Soma Watanabe, and Galeno Deman. Now, we do have a bit of an interesting pickle. Kawakami and Galeno are both members of Bulk Orchestra. You probably would say they probably wouldn't fight each other. Well, they did, because they're not going to hold back. They both want to win. But in the end of this match, it was a beautiful drop kick by Watanabe that picked up the win onto Suzumu. I thought it was very impressive on his part. I feel Soma Watanabe has a bright future with GLEAT. Those who don't know this, Soma Watanabe, I feel like he idolized, what's his name, Kota Ibushi, because he met him years ago. And now that boy who admires and idolizes Kota Ibushi, he did had a chance to face to face in a tag match about a month ago. But now, hopefully, one day he can have that one-on-one match. But we'll see what happens until then. Now, our next match is a Lidet UWF rules match. Now, those who aren't familiarized with this, UWF is kind of like the MMA style, but the only difference is you win by submission, pinning, or knockout. That's how it works. But they'll give them something to do, 5 points each or something like that. But I don't know exactly how that works. But it was a tag match. We have Dan Tamura teaming up with Minoru Tanaka, taking on Yu Iizuka and Hikaru Sato. Now, Tamura and Sato, they're both part of the same unit in All Japan, Evolution. And of course, they're not afraid to fight each other. Evolution is all about fighting and the fighting style that they combine. But in the end, it was a ninja chokehold by Tanaka onto Iizuka to pick up the win. Now, our next match, this was a long time coming. We have the All Japan Pro Wrestling World Junior Heavyweight title between Rising Hayato and El Lindaman. Now, Rising Hayato, he's an amazing junior heavyweight competitor. But however, for a long time, he felt that he was not being appreciated, that he was not getting the opportunities, the challenge. But he won a tournament where he contended for this shot of the title. So, but however, one thing that sickens him is the fact that the title is in the hands of a wrestler who's not even from All Japan Pro Wrestling. So I'm sure El Lindaman has a target on his back, knowing that you're not even from the promotion. So this is a better way to for him to defend it on his turf or the collaboration of both units. But in the end, it was of course El Lindaman with the German suplex that picked up the win, which is a huge disappointing for Rising Haya. I'm sure he'll get another shot. But however, with no time to waste, Hikaru Sato shows up during the post-match, and he issued the challenge for the title. So I'm sure El Lindaman accepted the match. I'm not sure if this match will take place at a GLEAT show or an All Japan show, but we will see when that happens. I'm sure when that is announced, we'll find out. Now, our semi-main event we have is the G Infinity Tag Team titles on the Fend. The challengers are Black Generation International, consisting of Kotaro, Suzuki, and Hartley Jackson, taking on the Voodoo Murder members, more consisting the Saito brothers, Jun and Ri. Now, these guys won these titles from Shek Shimatani and Hayato Tamura. Recently, of course, Black Generation International issued the challenge. So the reason they issued the challenge was because, of course, Black Generation Internet are trying to prove once and for all that they are now the top dogs of the promotion. But the Saito Bros are a team that they should not underestimate. These guys will put you in a body bag. That's what they would normally do. But in the end, of course, Black Generation International were not enough. It was Rei Sato with a diving body press onto Hartley Jackson to retain the title. So, obvious thing is, who's next? Well, we'll find out in the future. Now, our main event, we have a very interesting match. It's a generational stronger match. We have Kento Miyahara, Kaz Hayashi, Suwama, and T-Hawk. They take on Tetsuya Izushi, Yuma Anzui, Atsuki Aoyogi, and of course Hayato Tamura. So as you can tell, there's a combination of both GLEAT and All Japan wrestlers mixing together. This was a pretty good match because it showed, like you can tell, first team looked more like veterans, and the others are just the wrestlers who are trying to make a name for themselves. But in the end, it was of course Knight Rider by T-Hawk, which is the move now I found out what it's called. I didn't know what it was called. It was a driver type, but it's called Knight Ride. And he tried it on Aoyagi and picked up a good win. However, he was giving out a good promo at the post-match, but apparently he got issued a challenge by none other than Shuji Ishikawa. So this is going to be an interesting match. Don't know when that will be announced, but I wouldn't be surprised if this match will take place in either or. So we'll see when that happens. I think that's pretty much it for this particular show. So let's move on with our last one, which is AEW Dynamite's Fter Fest. Okay, AEW Fter Fest. This is the go home show before we head to All In. I'm sure everybody's exciting. I'm sure everybody bought the pay-per-view for that because it's gonna be killer. But first things first, anything could happen before we get to that. Like, what surprises are in store for us? Well, let's find out. Our very first match we have, well, it was supposed to be a match, but it ended up being into a brawl between the Elite, consistent of Kenny and the Bucks, against the Guns and Juice Robinson, aka the Bullet Club Gold. However, the referee was knocked out because the bell did not ring. Now, keep in mind, we have, of course, Juice and what's his name, Jay White. They'll be teaming Konosuke Takeshita to take on Kenny, Kota Ibushi, and Hangman Page. So that will be something that we will see in All In. But however, of course, the Guns are out there saying that they are now the best brother tag team. They are the best, but we all know who the real best is of course. So they've been going back and forth on this. And of course, FTR wasn't going to let the Bucks get themselves injured until their historic match in All In. I'm sure this is going to drive the Guns crazy because they probably would say this should have been them in that match. But nope, it did not. I'm sure the FTR doesn't recognize them as the best tag team or the best brother tag team at all. But in the end, of course, we did see Konosuke Takeshita try to take out Kenny, but he ran to Hill. So this match, you can say it ruled out into a no contest or so. But it is what it is. Now, as you know, the main event for All In is going to feature MJF versus Adam Cole. So, of course, MJF gave his bit of thoughts about his friendship with Adam Cole, the adventures they have. So, you know how that is. And the same thing that Adam Cole did the same thing, too. They later on did do an interview, Renee Paquette did an interview with him, too. So, same old. So, we'll see. Now, our next match, we have Jon Moxley versus Rey Fenix. However, in this match, both sides are banned from ringside. So that means the BCC are banned from ringside. So is Penta, Eddie Kingston, the Best Friends. They're also out of the whole thing. So that kind of puts it out in a way. But however, this was a much brutal match you probably wouldn't anticipate. But however, in the end, it was, of course, Jon Moxley who picked up the win when he choked Rey Fenix. However, Rey Fenix did not tap out. The referee called the match and it was over. But as soon as the match was over, here comes Claudio and, of course, Wheeler Yuta try to take him out. But as soon as Eddie Kingston and Penta tried to come out to help out, they were stopped by a familiar figure. And that figure was none other than Ortiz, who we haven't seen in months. And then right behind him is Santana Ortiz. Then we saw Santana also made their appearance attacking Penta. So it appears now that Santana Ortiz aligned themselves with BCC to be their tag partners at All In. But however, Wheeler Yuta whacked Rey Fenix with the steel pipe, with the steel bar, and just left them dang. And here comes the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy for the helping hand. But as soon as that happened, that walked out. But things are now becoming chaotic. Eddie Kingston, who felt like responsible for what happened to Phoenix, he was growing concerned. However, they rolled out Rey Fenix out of the arena out of the stadium, and of course Renee Paquette shows up. Eddie Kingston, he felt like, you're the last person I want to talk to. He's trying to say, you saw what your husband did. So basically, even though Renee Paquette is trying to make peace with them, but it doesn't matter anymore. But now, this is the crucial part. The only reason this match happened like that was because it was now revealed that, of course, Rey Fenix, he does have visa issues, but it has nothing. It was due to his residencies here in the States. That's the problem. But I'm sure that will be resolved. But of course, according to Tony Khan, he said he had some plans just in case if anything goes differently. But we'll get to that at another point. Now, Renee Paquette decided to have a little interview earlier in the day with Sammy Guevara, explaining his actions. Why did he show up helping Chris Jericho? He was about to speak, but here comes the other members of the former members of the JAS, Menard and Parker, along with Garcia, questioning about all this and that. But Sammy had his reasons why. So they are trying to tell him that he's not going to be his friend forever. So basically, they're trying to tell him to watch out. But here's the thing: Sammy accompanied Jericho because the following moment, it was a contract signing between Chris Jericho and Will Ospreay. Now, they go back and forth. You know, Will Ospreay had the audacity to say that I defeated Kenny Omega and Okada, and soon it will be Chris Jericho under 2 months. So he feels that defeating Jericho will put a name on his legacy. But however, Jericho feels that this match in Wembley Stadium will be more memorable for him, because this match between Ospreay and Jericho should have happened in 2021, but however, due to the pandemic, it kind of changed things. So he's saying that he should be thankful for him that this match is going to happen, but he said he's going to make his life miserable in front of everybody in his country in Wembley Stadium. So that's so on, and of course Jericho gave him a whack on his face, but you know this is going to be intensified when we get to Wembley Stadium. Now, our next match is a Tornado Tag Team match. We have Nick Wayne and Darby Allin taking on AR Fox and Swerve Strickland. This was a chaotic match, so anything could have happened. But you saw how ruthless both Ari Fox and Swerve can be. But however, when you thought that this match was in favor of the Mogul Embassy, it was of course Nick Wayne who picked up the win and put a bridge onto AR Fox, while of course Darby Allin gave the assist to Nick Wayne to ensure the Swerve does not save AR Fox. But however, things got a little hectic after that. Apparently Swerve was not happy with the results of the match, so Prince Nana broke it down. He fired AR Fox and got himself attacked by Brian Cage, and of course here comes Darby Allin and Nick Wayne along with Sting to save the day. But apparently it appears that Swerve and Nana had a backup plan all this time. Now, it was supposed to be Swerve and AR Fox to take on Sting and Darby Allin. Well, it turns out that they picked Christian Cage. Now, as you know, Christian Cage has this feud with Darby Allin. For months, Christian has criticized Darby because of his distractionness towards Swerve. But of course, this was bound to happen. Christian Cage decided to insult Nick Wayne, insulting him about his father, that he never heard of him, that he was a hack, and he tells him that he will be a far more better mentor than Darby Allin. But he did give him a warning to stay clear away from. But he has to do is watch how he's going to put Darby Allin in the coffin. But I'm sure Nick Wayne is not going to tolerate Christian Cage's words towards his father, even though I'm sure his mom, who's watching, will not appreciate that at all. So we'll see what happens when we get to All In. Now, we do see a bit of an interview with Renee talking with Bucks and FTR. As you know, this is a rubber match. As you know, the first match, of course, FTR won. Second match, the Bucks. So basically, this is a long-standing history between who is the best tag team in the world. That's always been the story that we've been seeing for a long time. So Wembley Stadium, this will determine who will be at the lead of this rubber match. So we'll go from there. Now our next match, we have Ruby Soho versus Sky Blue. This is coming up from what happened last week, where Sky Blue, and along with Hikaru Shida, won against Ruby and Toni Storm. But however, of course, Ruby Soho picked up the win when she did the Destination Unknown. But unfortunately, Ruby Soho has called out Chris Statlander, that she said she wants the TBS title. So we'll see what happens till then. Now, as the relationship between MJF and Adam Cole has bonded them, apparently there's been a bit of bitterness coming from one person, and that is Roderick Strong, who's been Adam Cole's closest friend for many years. But of course, recently we saw Adam Strong being comforted by the Kingdom. Now, those who probably don't know the story, the Kingdom has a long-standing relationship with Adam Cole. Adam Cole was a member of the Kingdom many years ago during the Ring of Honor days. So they decided to comfort him, but it appears that they have some unfinished business. But Strong did say a few words that kept it clear that by All In they will see who the real MJF and Adam Cole really are. So we'll see what happens afterwards when we get to that. Now, as you know, the Acclaim are not happy. Last week we saw that they were viciously assaulted by none other than the House of Black. Now, the House of Black took great pleasure in trying to make Daddy Ass retire. It should have been the end of it, but it did not. So apparently, the House of Black likes to prey on things that they felt like is ridiculous, stupid, you're idiots, that sort of way. You see, the Acclaim carry Daddy Ass Billy Gunn's boots as a way to, remind themselves of how they got here. But however, they took as soon as they assaulted the Acclaim, they took the boots, and Malachi Black destroyed them. So the Acclaim did not appreciate what they did, so they called them out. So there was a numbers game, and of course Daddy Ass shows up out of the blue. However, he didn't come here just to save the Acclaim for the assault that they were suffering against the House of Black. Daddy Ass is pissed off. Pissed off for what Malachi Black did. Destroying his boots. Not only that, trying to tarnish his legacy. So basically, the House of Black made the biggest mistake. If they wanted Billy Gunn gone, all they had to do was leave it alone. But no, they decided to, oh, we're going to destroy the boots that hold so dear to you guys. What about Billy? Well, he said you're not going to get Daddy Ass in All In. You're getting none other than Billy Gunn, the most dangerous person you ever met. So, he's going to come out as Billy Gunn, who we haven't seen in years. So, can't wait to see that. Now, our next match we have is the ROH World Tag Team Championship. The Hardys, Matt and Jeff, who have been champions before in ROH. If you guys remember the history, they defeated the Bucks for these titles. But now they face Aussie Open. So this is a good chance now for, once again, as you know, Aussie Open are trying to, how do I say, prove that they are the much stable tag team than MJF, Adam Cole. But of course, it was Aussie Open that picked up the win when they applied a neck breaker on Jeff Hardy. And of course, Mark Davis picked up the win. And of course, MJF and Adam Cole show up at the end. They almost got themselves in the fights, but it appears that Better Than You, baby, is still going strong. But how things will they go when we get to All In? Now, keep in mind, at the buy-in or 0-hour show, MJF and Adam Cole will face them for Aussie Open for the tag titles, and then we'll go for the main event and All In. It's going to be the AEW World Championship. So we'll see how that goes. And I think that's pretty much it what we have for AEW. So let's move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So this is what we have. Now, this is where things got a little interesting. It appears it's been popping up everywhere. As you know, Will Ospreay made a contract signing for his match against Chris Jericho at Wembley Stadium this coming weekend. However, it appears that Will Ospreay reveals something interesting. This has been spread throughout social media. Will Ospreay revealed that that in 6 months his contract with New Japan will be up. Now, this is a very unusual thing. I know that Ospreay has been very well versed about, being in Japan, how much they have been with the best wrestlers in the world there showing up. But it appears that this is going to happen. Now, I'm sure a lot of fans are saying that he should be in AEW. I'm sure WWE fans will probably say, no, Will Ospreay needs to be with WWE because it's a far more better company. So I'm sure we will have in months ahead of time a bidding war who will be the one to obtain his get to sign him. So we'll see what happens until then. Now, Prestige Wrestling has announced for their upcoming event in September on the 24th for the Respect issue. Johnny Robbery will face Shaza McKenzie on that. For the California Classic update for Deadlock Pro Wrestling, for the finals of this tournament, the qualifying match, we have Calvin Tankman taking on, what's his name? Jake something, who is making his Deadlock Pro Wrestling debut. So that's going to be fun. Now, you may have heard what's been going on with Edge. Now, by the time this video is out, I don't know what people would think. According to what they're saying, this is coming from various sources. Edge presented to WWE what he would take to retain his services, but WWE declined to meet his request. This has sparked a belief within WWE that he's probably headed to AEW, and knew at that time that AEW could offer him. Now, I know some of you WWE loyalists who watch this episode channel probably would say, nope, he's not going to WWE. It's not going to happen. You know why? He's a WWE guy. Look, guys, let's just face the facts here in this. Edge has shown his loyalty to WWE. Isn't that a factor right there? Yes. But you need to ask yourself this obvious question. Will WWE acknowledge his loyalty? That's the question you need to ask yourself. This has nothing to do that, oh, he's a WWE guy. Yes, he will always be a WWE guy, but you need to ask yourself, is his loyalty matter? That's the problem you need to ask yourselves. Now, if AEW are going to give him a better offer, kudos. Then they are doing something right for him. But I'm sure there was one thing that many fans are expecting. They would like to see Edge and Christian do one last run. Don't know when that will happen or if it will. But never say never. So we'll pay attention closely to this one. Now, the boys, as you know, the guys who roll around with Dalton Cancel, Brent, and Brandon, they announced that they have re-signed their contracts with AEW / Ring of Honor. So that's great. So we're going to see them more often as we expect. Now, as you know, I reviewed the latest GLEAT show. It was announced surprisingly that our favorite pirate princess, KAIRI, will be making her appearance in GLEAT on September 20th. Now, this marks her third show in the month of September before she goes on her indefinite hiatus. Now, if you guys remember, she mentioned that she will be in indefinite hiatus by the end of September. Now, she does have a match coming up in September 2nd at Sendai Girls, where she teams up with Asuka, aka Venny. Not Asuka that we know in WWE. This is the other Asuka. They take on against Red Energy, consistent of Miyuki Takase and Mika Iwari. Now, that particular match is a long time coming because it was Mika Iwari who suffered in the hands of KAIRI all those years ago. Of course, we do have her, KAIRI, being in another match on September 8th, where she teams up with Sayu Inoi to take on Unagi Sayaka and Suri. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So I'm looking forward to that. So now we have GLEAT as her next show. Now, the obvious question is, who will be her opponent? I wouldn't be surprised if Unagi's involved again because she is a GLEAT girl, as you know. But that's how it is. So we'll find out until then. Now, Scott Edwards has pointed out something on that he reported, and this is something I need to put. It's official now for New Blood 11 that will take place on September 29th. The New Blood tag team titles will be defended. Starlight Kid and Karma finally put those belts online after many, for who knows how long. They'll be taking on O2 Line, consistent of Queen's Quest members Azumi and Miyuki Takase. So that's going to be go. And there's going to be another team, so this is going to be a three-way match. We have Wingori, consistent of Hanan and Saya Ida. And then we have, of course, the Kozen Assessment. This is the match where, of course, Will Yuna Mizumori will get an opportunity to join Cosmic Angels full-time. So she will face the fearless leader, Tam Nakano. So that's going to be interesting. And then we have a Passion Injection match. This was a request by Mei Seira, who approached Nanane Takahashi for this match. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Now, as you know, we already had the best of the Super Juniors. Well, the Junior Heavyweight division continues on, but this time we have the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team division. They'll have their tournament coming up real soon. It begins on October 21st, and it goes all the way to November 4th, and this will go on with the Power Struggle show. So it'll begin in Saitama Kumayaga City Gymnasium, and it will end all the way to November 4th at the Ideon at Osaka, I think. No, yeah, at the Ideon Arena in Osaka. So you ask yourselves, what did the winners get in this particular tournament? This will be, in fact, they will get a shot of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles that is currently being held by the members of the Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connors and Dan Maloney. So that's going to be interesting to see. Now, this is one I've been saving for last because this is the last thing that got my attention. As you know, I mentioned a while ago, Saki Akai, who's been wrestling one of the Yoshi wrestlers, who's been wrestling as part of DDT for many years, made rare appearances in Tokyo Pro Wrestling, has announced that she will have her last final match with her tag partner Yuki Rai. Together, they're known as the Riarwa Double A Cannon. Now, these two ladies have won the tag team titles before, but their opponents are none other than Yuki Aino, and of course Moka Miyamoto. So this will be the final time to see Saki Akai and Yuki Arai as tag teams. So this is going to be a memorable match for both of them. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tears at the end of the match and all this other stuff by post-match, whatever. But we'll see how this rolls out. And I think that's pretty much it for now, what we have for our news updates. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode coming up. As you know, it's going to be Thursday, so we probably will have MLW Fusion, Impact Wrestling, and Ring of Honor. Now, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do another show before that, but we'll see what happens. I know I haven't seen the GCW shows. I'll probably do that some point when I get a chance. But however, I do have the latest JCW show, Day Dog Afternoon, and of course, New Blood 10. Haven't seen those yet, but we'll see how that rolls out. So if I don't do any of the ones that I mentioned, I'll probably do just the three: MLW, Ring of Honor, and of course Impact Wrestling. But we'll see how that goes. But for now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.